Voters in California headed to the polls today, and this could be epic. Two matchups getting national attention. That race for Los Angeles mayor seeing some big momentum for Spencer Pratt. Many voters there angry at the current Democrat mayor, Karen Bass, who failed to clean up rampant homelessness and fentanyl-ridden streets. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. Upstart candidate Pratt exploding in popularity. He's making a competitive run to lead the nation's second largest city. And he's calling for some common sense solutions to problems that have long plagued L.A., which include the homelessness I just mentioned, drug addiction, and so much more. A Washington Post writer characterized it as, quote, breathtaking squalor, and adds to that the Palisades fire, which killed 85 people, destroyed thousands of homes. Incumbent Democrat Mayor Bass launched a program designed to improve life for people in L.A. It cost taxpayers more than $300 million so far, and the results? Not good. It helped only about 1,500 people find permanent housing at a cost of about $200,000 each. 40% of the people participated ended up back on the streets. And just one example of huge dollar liberal initiatives that have not worked on her watch. One political strategist, Katie Zakaria, says that's why change is coming.
The people turning out for Spencer Pratt are excited for solutions. The people turning out for Karen Bass are just going to be the same old tired Democrats that vote party line and don't really want to hold these people accountable. They're not going to be people from the Palisades. They're not going to be people who are experiencing the constant homelessness on their streets. They're going to be just the tired old Democrat voter that is going to keep the establishment in.
And the other key contest in California today, the primary for governor. Term-limited Democrat Gavin Newsom is on his way out. Steve Hilton is a Republican candidate in that race to replace him. He'll join me in Focus moments from now. First, let's go to Matt Finn at a polling station in L.A. Matt.
Harris, it's time for voters here to decide who will replace Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom and, of course, who will be the new mayor here in Los Angeles. The current mayor, Democrat Karen Bass, fighting to keep her job. We caught up with Bass in the final moments at a diner yesterday where she used her signature attack on opponent Spencer Pratt.
It's not just that he has no experience in city government. I don't know that he's ever held a job in his life other than to be a reality TV star.
As Los Angeles struggles to keep Hollywood production in town, we asked Mayor Bass why she says Pratt's years of work as a reality TV star is not a real job.
Mrs. Bass, isn't a reality TV star a job? You get millions of dollars.
Thank you, everybody.
So much. Thank you so much for coming.
The L.A. mayor's race has exploded with interest as former reality TV star Spencer Pratt has gained popularity and outraised Bass by millions of dollars. The third top-tier candidate is progressive councilwoman Nithya Raman, who just cast her ballot in Los Angeles a short while ago this morning. The key issue is open-air drug use. It's all around, homeless encampments, and the historic fires that happened as Karen Bass was mayor. Pratt says he's the common-sense candidate.
I just want people to feel safe. I want families to be able to thrive in the city. And it takes the whole city to actually change.
And in the governor's race, President Biden's former HHS Secretary Javier Becerra has surged, now considered neck and neck with Democrat Tom Steyer and former Fox News host Republican Steve Hilton. The polls are open right now. They're open until 8 o'clock tonight. If you're mailing in your ballot, it has to be postmarked by today here in California. Back to you, Harris.
All right, Matt, thanks. That's where we'll start. I want to go to the governor's primary in California now. There are 61 candidates, and 3 of them have emerged. You just saw that from Matt Finn. They are the top contenders. A new op-ed points to the desire for change across that state. It says California Democrats bored their own voters into submission. Quote, the race to replace Newsom has largely been a contest among Democrats to see who hates Trump the most. The Rage Olympics have erased any distinction among them and any discussion of real solutions to California's many problems. And all the good ideas have come from the Republicans, especially Steve Hilton. His proposal to end state taxes for incomes under $100,000 per year was so compelling that Katie Porter simply copied it. President Trump has endorsed Hilton and posted, "Democrats have done an absolutely horrendous job. People are fleeing, crime increasing, and taxes are the highest of any state in the country. Steve can turn it around. We will make California great again. He will never let you down." Steve Hilton joins me now. Those are some important big words. First of all, I want to just get your take on how this has really gotten down to the three of you from 61. That is a huge number.
Well, Harris, it's great to be with you, and it's a very special moment for me because if you recall, my very first interview on the launch day of my campaign was with you on this show. And this is a very big moment for California because we have the chance to change the trajectory of this state. People are fed up after 16 years of one-party rule. You see it in LA, as you just described, and up and down the state where I've been traveling. These candidates the Democrats are putting forward, they're useless and hopeless. You've got the billionaire climate fanatic Tom Steyer. You've got Javier's incompetent, you've got Javier Becerra, Biden's incompetent health secretary. Even Biden cabinet officials say that he was useless. There's a majority for change in California. 56% say we're going in the wrong direction. It's all to play for this year, but we've got to get a Republican in the top two. I've won the Republican side of this primary by a landslide. If you look at the details of all the polls, I've beaten the other Republican, the nearest one, by 65 to 35%. But we don't have that kind of primary in California. We have this top two system. And the truth is that Tom Steyer, who's now spent $220 million trying to buy this election, he's caught up. So we really have a three-horse race for two spots. Today is the day. Don't take a risk. Everyone watching in California, we can change things. We don't have to put up with this insanity, but you've got to go out and vote for it today. I'm the only person that can get into the top two who will bring the change we need.
Where would you start first? I mean, you just listed, and I've listed all the problems in that state. I mean, the Democrats on watch there continue to get elected year after year after year, election after election, and things get worse. So there's a lot to be done.
Exactly right. Well, my mission is very straightforward. Cut your costs, help your business, fix our schools. That's the foundation of everything else. We got to get our economy back on track. Right now in California, we have the highest unemployment rate in the whole country, the highest poverty rate in America, tied with Louisiana. And Chief Executive Magazine ranks California as 50th out of 50 for business climate. We got the highest cost of living, highest gas prices, highest housing costs. That's why hundreds of thousands of people are leaving. And even more worryingly for our long-term future, so many businesses are leaving. So we're not generating the wealth and the opportunity. And it's heartbreaking to see the next generation. I did an event not long ago at Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, beautiful campus there. The young people, it's as if the light had gone out of their eyes when they thought about California. The idea of owning their own home, starting a family, starting a business, doing any of those things that we used to offer the best of all in California, they assume it can't be done, that they have to move to another state. That's what we've got to turn around. And the practicalities are very straightforward. First 100 grand tax-free, $3 gas, cut your electric bills in half, a home you can afford to buy, end the bloated nanny state bureaucratic government that's crushing every business.
Let me step in on that gas for a second. I mean, California's gas tax is so high. You heard the president talking about maybe we just wipe away the federal one while we're at war in Iran and put 18 or so cents back a gallon off everybody's bill. But in California, the tax is so high, it's ridiculous. You could almost cut it by, what, 60, 70 cents a gallon from what I'm reading. I mean, it's absolutely insane. So you really could make a cut there. I want to get to this. Democrat strategist Melissa DeRosa on the elephant in the room in LA's mayor's race. Watch.
Karen Bass is an incumbent Democrat with all of the establishment behind her. She's got the unions, she's got the governor, she's got Kamala Harris, but she can't crack 26, 27%. So that is not about Spencer Pratt. That is about her. When you've got a ceiling that low and you're the incumbent mayor, that is your constituents telling you you're fired. People are angry because they feel like the government has failed them.
So it's so interesting. It's the governor's race, it's the mayor's race in L.A., and it's Democrats right now faced with the problem. They're pushing these far-left candidates, but people are having real-life problems that don't have anything to do with politics.
Exactly. And that's what's so interesting. You've got Spencer Pratt in Los Angeles, and the energy there is so infectious. You've got me running across California, and we're seeing the same response at our events. Town halls up and down the state, hundreds of people each time. What's the similarity? We are both outsiders. We've never run for office before, running to shake up a system that is obviously broken. This corrupt, failed Democrat machine that's run this state for 16 years without interruption statewide, much longer than that in Los Angeles and some of the big cities. They've had all these years to show that their far left model of progressive governance, as they call it, works. It hasn't worked. The results are a disaster. Why would anyone think that another 4 years for these people would be any better? That's why we need change.
Yeah. Gavin Newsom, term limited, on his way out. Steve Hilton moving up in the polls. And now it is a three-way race on this primary day in the California governor's race. Great to see you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harris.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.